सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः श्री शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलास महामोह ग्राहक ग्रासैक कर्मणे। So we are into the 53rd episode of Vision of Vedanta. We began with this text called Tatva Vivekah by Swami Vidyaranya. The first was the Prarthana Shloka to the Guru. So we were into this 10th Shloka last episode, last Sunday. Itham Satchit Parananda Atma Yuktya Tatha Vidham Param Brahma Tayoho Cha Aikyam Shrutyanteshu Upadishyate. In the Shruti Anta, meaning the Veda Anta, the end of the Vedas, what is being spoken is Satchit Parananda Atma. This Atma, self or I, which is existence, which is knowledge, and which is of the form of bliss, Yuktya, by logic, Tatha Vidham. What is it in that same way? Param Brahma Tayoho Cha Aikyam. Atma is I, the individual I, and Param Brahma is the supreme self. Shruti Anteshu Upadishyate. The Vedanta talks about the unity of the individual self and the cosmic supreme self. Now, what is this individual self and the supreme self? What is the difference between the two? Abhanena param prema bhanena vishaye spriham ato bhanepya bhatasau paramanandatatmanaham. We cannot say that we don't know the truth, because all the time we are using that word I to refer to ourselves. So somewhere we have the understanding that I is the word that I'm referring to, yet we don't know what that I is. We say I am coming, I am going, I am sleeping, I am talking, it is correct. But when we say that, we are actually identifying that self with the body, the mind, or the intellect. So what exactly is that real I? Abhanena param prema. If the real I is not seen at all, we will not get any kind of love towards that. For example, Puja Guruji says here, do you love Gagapoga? Suppose somebody says Gagapoga, and I ask you, do you love Gagapoga? You will say, I don't know what it is. How can I love something that I don't know? So, Abhanena param prema. If that self is not revealed, we will not have that supreme truth, supreme love towards that. Bhanena vishaye spriha. If it is known, if that self is known, if that self which is supreme truth is known to us, then we are not going to be attached to small objects that give us pleasure for some period of time. We are not going to be attached to that, because we know the self already. Bhanena vishaye spriha. If that self is known, I will not be attached to sense objects of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. If I don't know what it is, I am not going to have supreme love towards that. But what is happening is, I do have supreme love towards itself, and at the same time I am also attached to sense objects, which means somewhere I don't have clarity. Ato bhane api abhata asau paramanandata atmanaha. Because if it is not known, I will not have love for the self. If it is known, I will not go behind objects. So I'm having love for the self also, and at the same time I'm going behind objects. So what does it show? Ato bhane api abhata asau. Even if it is seen, even if it is known, it is actually not clearly known. Asau parama anandata atmanaha. This self, which is supreme joy, even if it is known, actually it is not known. How sometimes we will keep a key somewhere, maybe on the chair or on the table. The key will be very much there, but in our stress to find the key, our vision will be blocked completely. And we will be searching here and there. We will be very frantic. And we will ask everybody, where is the key? And one little child will say, it is right in front of your eyes. Why can't you see it? How the child saw and this person who was searching did not see, because his vision was constricted by the fear of losing it, by anxiety, by worry, by stress, by tension. These feelings have clogged his vision, and even though the key is there, he is not able to see it. When he hears the voice of the child, his mind is completely calmed down. He knows that the key is there and the child is pointing out to it. When he completely calms down, then he is able to see the key right in front of him. So, in the same way, bhane api abhata asau. Even this truth is seen, it is not seen because our mind is constricted by ignorance. Our mind is constricted by tamas. Tamas means inertia. Paramanandata atmanaha. The supreme bliss of the self is not seen because the mind is constricted by ignorance and movement, rajas and tamas. So, what is this kind of obstacle that prevents me from knowing that truth, knowing the reality? Swami Vidyaranya ji gives a very beautiful example here. Adhyetru varga madhyastha putradhyayana shabdavat bhanepya bhanam bhanasya pratibandhena yujyate. So, there is a father, he has sent his son to the Patashala. The father has sent his son to the Patashala, and the son is chanting, maybe the Vedas, he is chanting along with everybody. The father likes to listen to the voice of the son. The voice of the son is somewhat heard, but it is not clearly heard because every student is chanting equally, loudly, and clearly. So, specifically, he is not able to hear his son's voice. His father is able to identify his son's voice somewhat, but he is not able to hear it clearly because there is an obstruction. And what is that obstruction? The obstruction in the form, the obstruction to his desire in the form of the voices of other students around. So it's a very beautiful and very rare example. Adhyetru varga madhyastha. The students are all amid the teacher in the class. Putra adhyayana shabdavat. Like the chanting of the son amid the class in the teacher's classroom. Bhane api abhanam. Even if it is there, even if that sound is there, it is not clear to him because the sound is merged with other sounds. Bhanasya pratibandhena yujyate. That which is known is obstructed. Pratibandha means an obstruction. Because of that obstruction to the known, the father is not able to hear the student's voice, the son's voice, his own son's voice in the classroom from outside. So, what is this pratibandha? Pratibandha, in that example, is the chanting of other students along with his son. So, he is not able to hear clearly his son's voice. It's a very simple example. Now, how is he connecting it to our ignorance and lack of understanding of reality? Pratibandhosti bhatiti व्यवहारार्हवस्तुनि तन्निरस्य विरुद्धस्य तस्योत्पादनमुच्यते प्रतिबन्धः अस्ति भाति इति. Pratibandha means there is the obstacle is in the form of existence, asti. Bhati is appearance. There is sat. Existence, asti, is sat. Bhati or appearing is chit. Bhati iti pratibandha. The sat and chit are the two obstacles. Vyavahara arha vastuni. In the things of the transactional world, there are two things. One is sat, one is existing. This water bottle is existing. This clock is existing. This book is existing. The mobile phone is existing. The pen in the pen stand is existing. Everything is existing. Asti, bhati. Bhati means it is appearing in particular manner. This is appearing as a water bottle. This is appearing as a clock. This is appearing as a pen stand and a pen. And this is appearing as a mobile phone. When I see this, I don't say it is a computer or I don't say it is a chair because it is a mobile phone. It is appearing to me as the mobile phone. Asti. So these two are the obstacles to perception of reality. Meaning name and form are the obstacles for my perceiving reality. Vyavahara arha vastuni. Where do we see this in Vyavahara? In transaction, in our waking state only and even in our dream state, we see this asti and bhati existing and revealing itself. Tannirasya viruddhasya. When these two obstacles are removed, viruddha means contrary to the reality. Tasyotpadanam uchyate. Tasya utpadanam uchyate. That which negates such knowledge, these are the objects which negates that knowledge of the reality and creates an opposite experience. What is this? This is the reality. But we are seeing, oppositely, we are seeing it as a mobile phone and a mobile phone stand. So what is this? This is reality. But we are seeing it as a clock, which is functioning on low battery. So it's showing some wrong time now. And Tannirasya, these two, asti and bhati, whatever is existing seems to exist outside, and in whatever manner it is revealing itself, those objects, they remove the thought of truth from my mind. Viruddhasya tasya utpadanam uchyate. And it creates a thought form of things that actually don't exist. They don't exist means they don't exist separately from reality. They're all part of reality, but we don't say this is life or this is life. We say this is mobile phone. We don't say this is consciousness. We say this is a pen. So they are revealing the modified form of reality and they are hiding reality. So non-apprehension of the truth and misapprehension of the truth, both they do. So what are these obstacles? The obstacles are our anger, worry, hatred, excitement, fear, and so many qualities in us prevent us from seeing the truth as it is. Tasya hetu samanabhi haraf putra dhvani shrutau iganadira vidyaiva vyome haika nibandhanam. Tasya putradhvani ashravanasya. For that father who is not hearing the sound of the son in the classroom, because he is not able to for the father who is not able to hear the sound of the son in the classroom because of the other sounds that are hiding the ability to hear his son's voice. Iha anadi vidya eva. In this world, the avidya, anadi avidya, the avidya or ignorance that has been existing from time immemorial, vyamoha eka nibandhanam, is the cause for this vyamoha, is the cause for my ignorance of the reality. What is the cause of my ignorance of reality? Avidya, which has been existing since time immemorial. Avidya means tamas. Rajas and tamas will come under the category of avidya, which will be explained in the next verse. So, what is, just as the sound of the other students is hiding the voice of the parent, voice of the son for the parent who is eager to listen to that. In the same way, anadir avidya eva, only this avidya or rajas and tamas, which is anadi, which has always been existing. It does not say ananta. It is not saying it is endless. It is only saying it is beginningless, meaning there is an end to it. Anadi avidya eva vyamoha eka nibandhanam. The only obstacle for reality is anadi avidya. Okay. The next verse, what is this avidya, is being explained in this verse. The avidya, which is beginningless, which is an obstacle for me to realize the truth. What is that anadi avidya? Chidanandamaya Brahma Pratibimba Samanvitam Tamorajas Sattva Guna Prakritir Dvividhachasam. Tamor Chidanandamaya Brahma Pratibimba, the reflection of consciousness or Brahma, blissful Brahman, Chid Ananda. Chit means the form of knowledge, revealing, awareness. Ananda means that awareness gives me bliss. That is why when we are conscious, everybody is happy, we are also happy. Suddenly we become unconscious, everybody becomes sad and worried, and we are not aware of it because we have become unconscious. We are not aware, but the others are sad because it is not a good state to be in, not being aware. There is Chit, Chaitanya. Chit Ananda is blissful. When we are not aware of the consciousness, we are not happy because the consciousness is only Ananda. Chit Ananda Maya. This Brahman is of the form of Chaitanya, Chit and Ananda. What is Brahman? Brahman is bliss. Brahman is consciousness. That Brahma is also there reflected in life. Pratibimba Samanvita. This Brahman is reflected as life. In any object, when sentiency is experienced, there is nothing but Brahman. Brahman, the reflection of Brahman, which is in the form of life. You see a lizard moving, or a snake moving, or a human being talking, or a child breathing. All forms of life is revealed through these movements, and that life is a reflection of consciousness of Brahman. Tamo rajaha sattva guna prakritir vividhachasa. So there is this reflection of consciousness, and then there is prakriti. Prakriti is of three types. Tamoguna, which means inertia, dull, inert, it does not have life of its own. Rajoguna is dynamic and moving. Sattva guna is calm, steady, and filled with knowledge. Dvivedha. So one is the reflection of consciousness, and then is Prakriti with the three gunas of Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. The three are called Prakriti because Prakarshena Kritam. Whatever has been done very well. Prakriti is the three gunas. It has already been created and established very well in this world, that is Prakriti. And so, what of these two distinctions? One is life, which is a reflection of consciousness, and the other is Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, the three aspects of Prakriti or nature. Now, what is the difference between Shuddha Sattva and Ashuddha Sattva? Malina Sattva. Sattva Shuddhya Vishuddhibhyam Maya Vidye Cha Te Mate Maya Bimbo Vashikritya Tam Syat Sarvagnya Ishvaraha. So, what is Sattva Guna? There are some terms here. Sattva Guna, Sattva, Shuddha, Vishuddhibhyam. Shuddha Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva. Sattva Shuddhi, the pure Sattva, Avishuddhibhyam. Impure Sattva, there is pure Sattva Guna or pure existence. Vishuddha Sattva is impure, Avishuddha Sattva is impure existence. What is pure existence? Pure existence is called Maya, where there is only Sattva Guna. There is calmness, there is beauty, there is harmony, there is brilliance, there is joy, there is happiness, there is love, all the divine, beautiful qualities that we may think of. Everything is pure Sattva Guna. Then you have Avishuddhibhyam, the other impure Sattva Guna, which contains both Rajas and Tamas. This pure Sattva Guna, Brahman associated with pure Sattva is called Maya. And Brahman associated with impure Sattva is called Avidya. Maya, Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Maya means pure Sattva. Maya, Avidye, Cha, Te Mate. Out of this, Brahman reflecting in pure Sattva, Maya Bimbaha Vashikritya. That reflection is being controlled by Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya, Brahman, which reflects in that Maya, in that screen of Sattva Guna. When Brahman reflects, it is in charge of that screen and it controls the Rajas and Tamas in that screen. And so that Brahman is called Ishvara. Brahman plus Shuddha Sattva Guna is equal to Ishvara. And in this case of Ishvara, Brahman is in charge of the situation. He is in charge of the Guna. The Guna is not in charge of that Ishvara. So that is the interesting part. That is why whenever we worship God, our mind becomes calm, because when we surrender to God, Ishvara takes charge of our mind and modifies that mind to meet his standards. And so the mind becomes calm like the mind of Ishvara. If you are always living in devotion and in a state of surrender, we will be very successful like Ishvara in whatever we do in our lives. Now this verse 17, what is this Avishuddha Sattva? Avidya Vashagastvanyah Tadvai Chitriyadane Kadha Sakarana Shariram Syat Prajnas Tatrabhimanavan. Avidya Vashagaha Tu Anyaha Tad Vaichitriyat Anekada. The other part, Brahman, which is under the control of Avidya, not Brahman, but that reflection of consciousness, when it is reflected in Avidya, when that Brahman is reflected in the qualities of Rajas and Tamas, it is called Avidya Vaichitriyat Anekadha. It is manifold in nature. Sattva is only one, that reflection is one consciousness. But here in Rajas and Tamas, when that the awareness is reflected, it manifests in a manifold ways. Anekadha, that is called Karna Shariram. Sa Karna Shariram Syat Prajnaha Tatra Abhimanavan. That Brahman, which is identified with Rajas and Tamas, is having the Karana Sharira or the causal body, which is Rajas and Tamas, and that Brahman is called Pragnyaha, Prakarshena Agnyaha. Generally, that person is not aware. That person is under the control of this Rajas and Tamas. That consciousness of that individual is controlled by Rajas and Tamas. So that person does not completely know the reality, know the truth, like Ishvara, who is that consciousness which is controlling Sattva Guna. That is Maya. Now, what is this? Why the world is created? How the world is created? Why this world is created? Tamah pradhana prakrutehe tadbhogayeshwarajnayam viyat pavana tejombu bhuvo bhutani jagnire. Tamaha pradhana prakrutehe. From predominantly tamoguna of prakriti, tat bhogaya ishwarajnaya, ajnaya, by the will of Ishvara, for experiencing, for the experience of the Ishvara, for the experience of the Jiva, prajna, this tamah pradhana prakrutehe, this prakriti, which is primordially tamasic in nature, this whole world is created from the beginning. What is the beginning? Viyat, Pavana, Teja, Ambu, Bhuvaha, Bhutani, Jagnire. Viyat is space, Pavana is air, Teja is fire, Ambu is water, Bhuvaha is earth, Bhutani, all the elements, Jagnire, they are all born. They are born for whom? For the experience of the Jiva. The Jiva, who is of the nature of Rajas and Tamas, is born in this world to go through experiences because of the desires, and because he has got those desires and he has to go through experiences, these five elements are created. So what is the order of creation? Sattvamshaihi panchabhistesham kramadhindriya panchakam shrotratvag akshirasana granakhyam upajayate. So sattva amshaihi panchabhihi tesham kramat dhi indriya panchakam. Sattva amshaihi panchabhihi. The sattva guna, by the sattva guna, panchabhihi, of the five elements of air, water, space, fire, earth, the five elements, the sattva guna of these five elements, because of that, what is created? Kramat, by order, indriya dhi, the buddhi, and indriyas, the five sense organs. Buddhi is created, the intellect is created, and the five sense organs, the powers of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. Shrotra, tvag, akshi, rasana, grana, akhyam, upajayate. Because of these, the sense organs and the golakas, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and the skin are all generated. Tairantakaranam sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidham mano vimarsha rupam syat buddhi syat nishchayatmikam taihi antakaranam sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidha. By all these inner equipment, antakaranam, meaning vritti bhedena, it is by the functions it does, it is different from each other. Sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidha Mano vimarsha rupam syat, buddhihi syat, nishchayatmika. This antakarana or the inner equipment, because of its faculty of the activity that it does, it is of two types. Manaha vimarsha rupam. The mind is of the nature of doubting. All the questions that we ask, all the doubts that we experience are happening in the mind. Buddhihi syat nishchayatmika. The intellect is of the nature of firm decision making. Whenever we go to a hotel, they say a list of so many items on the menu. So sometimes we may be confused about what to eat. And we may even look at the neighboring table, what they are ordering. And then the intellect will decide, yes, I like that, I'm going to order that. And all confusions and doubts are ended. So these are the two aspects of the antakarana. And we will see the next 10 verses in our next Sunday's session, or if it is not possible on Sunday because of so many other events that are happening, we will have it after this Kumbhabhisheka of Ram Janmabhoomi at Ayodhya. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om.